Hey guys, it's Maymay, and today we're making this card. I was sent a card by Margie Miller, and it was done very similar to this, and a lot of you guys asked me to recreate it. And I've never made this card. It's been around a long time. I want to say it came from Stampin' Up! Originally, but if you look online, there's lots of videos out there, so you can go check those out if you'd like. And today I'm going to show you how I kind of simplified it for myself. The card looks like this on the front, and when you open it, it looks like this. I love it. Thanks, Margie, for sending me one. Now let's make this guy. So you guys know I like things to be super simple. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm just using this white base so you can see what I'm doing here. So don't worry about the white base. It's just so you can see better. This is a 3x3 square of cardstock. I'm going to make a template, okay? So the first thing I like to do is write the word template. So I will know that's what this is and I don't lose it. And I'm going to say this is for my corner fold card. So then I can just put this with my templates, and when I need it, I have it. Again, this is a 3x3 inch square, okay? Now here's what we have to do to make this guy work. I don't like to measure in eighths, but this card needs to be measured in eighths, okay? So here's what we're going to do. From this corner, the bottom right-hand corner of your template, we're going to measure in 5/8, okay? So 5/8 on this particular ruler, this is a Tim Holtz ruler, is the dashed line and the solid line, 5 of those, okay? So you'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5/8, and I'm going to make a mark at the 5/8 inch spot on my template, okay? So just right there, all right? Then I'm going to turn it, and in the top, what would be the top left-hand corner, this is your bottom right, top left, I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to measure another 5/8, and I'm going to measure 5/8 down this time. I'm going to do it this way so I can see it. So I'm going to put my ruler on 5/8 at the top of my square and then make myself a mark. Okay, now I want to be able to see this better. So from that mark, I'm going to put my pencil on the mark and go out, and then put my pencil on the mark and go out the other way and make myself an arrow. Okay, so my arrow point is my mark. All right, so let's do that here again. Touching my mark at the edge, I'm going to go out, touching my mark, go out, and just make myself an arrow. Doesn't have to be perfect. This just helps me to know exactly where I need to make my pencil mark, and then I'll just draw a little line. So I know at the point and at the point is where I should mark, okay? And if you need to, you can make a little note for yourself that that's 5/8 of an inch, and over here that's 5/8 of an inch. Be as specific as you want on your templates. It might help you in the future when you're making the card. Okay, now then, we'll put that aside, our template's made. Now we need to score this guy. This is just an A2 size card base, so it's 8.5 by 5.5. That's how big this one is. And I'm going to score it at 4 1/4. So I'll put this into my scoreboard. Score it here at 4 1/4. And that's really all I have to do for right now. Okay, put that aside. Put this aside. Now it's time to make our marks. I'm going to flip this over because I personally like my score mark to go out and some people like them to go in. That is your choice. You can do that how you want to, but I've got my score mark where I can feel it here like a bubble, okay? So I'm going to put my score mark right here. I'm going to go back to my template. I'm going to place my template in the top right-hand corner of my card base and just match them up, corner and side, all right? Now I'm going to trace, and all I have to do is put my pencil here on the edge of my pink template and trace to my arrow mark, okay? Then I'm going to go from my arrow mark down to the bottom of my template. So that's all I have to do, and then I'm going to cut that mark. That will help me get this card made correctly without having to do any crazy measuring, okay? Now that you've got these marks, you can cut this any way you want to. You can use your trimmer if you like, and you can place this in your trimmer and just run your blade along those lines. I'm not going to do it that way. I don't find that's the easiest way for me. I'll show you what I like to do. I like to use my ruler and my pen blade. This just works for me, okay? I don't use the metal side of my ruler. I know I've heard you guys tell me that I'm doing it wrong. I know. I don't use this side. It's a little too chunky for me. I don't feel like I get as precision of a cut. I like to use the side that bevels down. So I know I'm using it incorrectly, but this is how I do it. If you want to use the metal side, feel free. I'm going to line this up with my pencil mark, okay? Doesn't matter where, just on my ruler because I'm going to use it as a straight edge. Then I'm going to take my pen blade. Now I want to give you some tips with using your blade, okay? Number one, you don't have to cut through on the first pass, so you don't have to use so much force. You can do multiple passes and you'll get a better result that way. Instead of pressing against your ruler, just line up next to your ruler and put your pressure down into the paper, and that will keep your ruler from moving, okay? So I'm gonna put my blade down again, press down into the paper, not really pulling against my ruler. And I usually do about 3 passes. That's usually what it takes for me to get a nice, clean, all the way through cut, because I don't press so hard to get it the first time. It doesn't bother me if I have to go over it a few times. All right, so I'm gonna do the same thing here, just trim out that line. And I'm just trimming the length of the line. That's important. You're not trying to go all the way to the edge of the card. You're stopping where your pencil mark stops. So one more time. That should be all the way through. Feels like it might be. All right, I got one little, nope, it went all the way through. There we go. So we're through. All right, now then, it's time to make the twist fold, or whatever you want to call this, to make the corner. To do it, if you'll put your thumb on the front and push down, that's what we want to happen. That's the motion. You want that to push away from you. And then before you crease it into place, okay, I want you to pay attention to this side. I like to line this edge here up with my score mark and make sure they're parallel to each other. You're not going to take it all the way over there to it. You're just going to fold it where the cuts are and where the paper wants to go, the cardstock wants to go, but you want to make sure you keep it parallel to your score mark. So I'm just going to do it like that. That looks nice and straight to me. I know that's hard for you to see on camera. I'm going to bring it up so you can see it in just a second. Then I'm going to crease these guys down, okay? So let me do it this way. I think this will help. Let me fold this so we can get the fold line all established. All right, so when you push this backwards, all right, what you want to do, that's as southern as I can get, all right? What you want to do is you want to take this line and keep it parallel with the edge of the card. That's all. And then you are ready to decorate. So when this is finished, and I have not had one land perfect yet, you should be 5/8 of an inch away from this side, and you should have 5/8 over here. And I'm about a 1/16 of an inch off, and I'm not going to stress about it, okay? If you're a little bit off, that's okay. It's paper, it's cardstock, it's hand measuring. That's going to happen, but I'm close enough, all right? So let's make a card with this. I decided I wanted to make this on a double-sided piece of paper. So I have this cardstock that is strawberry? Where did that even come from? I have this cardstock that is snowflakes on one side and wood grain on the front. And this is cut to an A2 size card. So it's 8.5 by 5.5. And I'm going to just start the same process over again, but I'm going to use my template to do it. And I'm just going to do it here on this pattern paper. I think the cool thing about this card project is using double-sided paper, because I think it really shows off the twist, and it shows that it's not just you folding down the corner, that we actually did a fancy kind of cut twist, because you could kind of get the same look by just folding down that corner and then stacking your pretty pieces on top. Now I'm going to cut this again. You don't have to watch this part. I'm just going to do this because you know what we're doing. We're just slicing that line. So I folded my card in half, and I'm going to push that inside corner down, and then I'm going to watch my edge and try to get this parallel. Ooh, my words today. Get this parallel and then do that little crease mark. Look how pretty it is when you use the double-sided paper. I think it's really pretty. And we even have a spot in here we can do some decorating too. So now it's time to do the fun part, the decorating. Let's do some mats for in here and also in here. So let's talk about the inside of the card first before we decorate the outside. I'm going to mat the inside with this piece here. This piece is 4 by 5 1/4. So it'll sit just inside the inside part of our card, okay? Then this piece is 3 by 4 1/4 because I want a 1/2 inch all the way around, okay? Then I want you to notice, I'm going to stack these guys on the inside, but when I do it, that little inside piece hides behind our front panel. So when you open the card, you get kind of the multi-layered effect. And that's okay. We want to do that because we need something here that we can stamp on or put our sentiment on that will show. I'll have a hard time doing it on this pattern paper, but I think this would be gorgeous. Now, you might have noticed I'm using one of the newer packs of paper. It's absolutely gorgeous. This one is called Christmas. It's absolutely gorgeous. And if it bothers you to cover up paper like that, you can always cut a square out of there and save that paper. Okay, you don't have to leave it back there fully. I just typically do. So I'm going to glue this one down. We're working on the inside so I can glue it straight down, and I don't need to use any dimension or anything inside of it. So a little art glitter glue in there. And I'm just going to, oh, I feel like that's upside down. It might not have been, but it felt that way to me. So I'm going to line this guy up in here. I'm leaving 1/8 of an inch all the way around. That's how I cut the little mat piece for it, okay? Then this little guy is going to go right in here, and it's going to get, you know, half inch all the way around. I'll stamp this later. Now, you might want to go ahead and stamp it. If you're not comfortable stamping while it's in the card, you might want to stamp it before you put it in the card. That's always a good idea. So I'm going to kind of line this up, and just quickly, I'm going to flip this over and make sure it's hidden, and it is. I just want to make sure it's hidden behind that front panel. You don't have to do that. I just think that looks kind of cool, and you end up with these different patterns floating around. I think it's neat. It's very patterny. Okay, now for the front. I'm going to glue this panel down. You may decide you don't want to glue the panel down, but I'm going to glue this down. I think it looks really cool when it's kind of solid like that and not flipping around. So I just put a little glue inside of there just so I could run it underneath where this folds, and that will hold this piece in place. I just think it looks better. And now we're ready to decorate the front. I'm going to open this up because it seems to want to open anyway, and this way it'll lay nice and flat for me to show you. Now, I'm letting the paper do the work, okay? I'm not going to spend a lot of time stamping or anything, just really on the inside panel. Out here, I'm going to do some layering. This piece is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. It will nestle inside of this square that we have here perfectly. See that? So that's my 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 piece. Then, just because I wanted some difference or some pattern changes on the front, I cut a piece of that black paper that I'm using on the inside to run right down here along this panel. So I'm going to glue those two together real quick. I'm going to glue this piece to the bottom of that little square I made for that insert. Just running it all along the bottom and the full length of the piece. Okay, now I'm going to pop this guy up on the front. I think he'll look pretty and give us a little more dimension. So I'm going to use my foam here, some Foam Me Up Scotty. Cut me a piece. I'm going to cut this one in half because I don't really think I'm going to need too much of it. Run this along one side and the other. Now that border piece that I stuck to the front, that goes on the bottom for me. So I'm just going to put that to the bottom, and I'm going to just line this up inside that square, giving myself a little red border all the way around from the piece that's folded in the back. See there? So we can see red all the way around it. Super cute. Now, when I was putting this guy together, I told you there's a lot of pattern in this card, and I like that. It's very different for me. I wanted something else on the front. I felt like it was too plain. So I've got 2 more things. I'm going to put this at the bottom, and I'm going to put a little piece in the top center. But before I put this down, because I'm still kind of on the fence about it, I'm going to put a piece here, and I'll show you what it's going to be. So from the sticker sheet, this piece right here has been talking to me all morning. I love this little piece. I tried to use something different, but I just kept loving how it looked on the front of this panel like this. It says, "Enjoy the season," that little sticker. I'm going to flip this over like this, and I'm going to use some foam because I want it to be popped up. I'm going to put a little bit at the top. I think I'm going to add some here to the bottom too because this is a sticky piece. Let me just cut a little piece real quick. Probably got too much. We'll see. Yep, a little bit too much. That's all right. Okay, let's put this piece at the bottom, just like that. All right, peel these little backer pieces off. And this guy is ready to go on the front of the card. I think this is going to be cute. And I'm going to kind of center it on that piece. I love that little mason jar. It's so cute. Mason jar filled with flowers. Now I'm going to close it before I put that bottom piece on. I really thought it needed that bottom piece, but now I'm not sure that it does. Although I still love this little piece, and I love that it says, "We wish you a Merry Christmas." I don't know. I still like it. I bet you guys are all saying something different, like do it, don't do it. I think I'm going to cut this piece away and see what it looks like to have just the little lanterns running down there. Let me do that real quick. This is how my process works. I just kind of play around until I see how I like it. It doesn't mean I've wasted anything. I can still use this little piece that says, "We wish you a Merry Christmas" somewhere else. So bring the card back over, and now this would get mounted here. I like that a lot better. So I'm going to do it that way. I'm going to mount it just like that. I think that is cute. And I think I'm even going to ink the edges of it. I think it might be cute to do that. I think it'll help tie it all together because it's a little stark white. So I'm just going to come in with some Vintage Photo Distress ink and just ink these edges. Maybe just the top and bottom. I'll see how that looks. I think I have to trim one of these sides, so I'm going to keep my ink out in case I need to touch up a spot. Sit that right there for a second. And then look, yes, the inked edges are much better. So let me glue that down. That is so cute. I love those lanterns. Okay. And I told you I had to trim a little bit of mine off right here. So I'm going to trim that and then touch that up with some ink real quick. And hit that with that ink again. There we go. All right, so that is the card itself built. It just needs a sentiment inside. And I'm not sure what I'm using yet for my sentiments this year. So I think I'm going to wait to do the inside as far as stamping or writing. But I do want to put something here. I want to show you. I'm going to let the paper do the work again. And I'm going to go back to this sticker pack. And I saw a sticker earlier I thought would be cute. This one. It says, "Be of good cheer." And I think it will look really cute in here. Easy, super cute. Lots of pattern, lots of color. You can do all kinds of things with this card, but that's how you do it, or that's how I would do it. So I just thought I would show you that using the template that makes it super easy. Now, if you make one of these guys, and I hope that you do, I want to see it. You can share your creations with us on our website at maymaymadeit.com on our customer gallery, and you don't have to have any kind of social media or anything to do that. You can just link it right there, and we can see what you're making and even what products you're using. And we have our Facebook group, we have our Instagram, we have our Twitter. You can meet us up over there too and see all kinds of inspiration. Hey, thanks so much for watching today. I also want to give you a little heads up because it's Labor Day weekend and I'm filming this the week before the weekend. There won't be a Tuesday video. I'm going to take the weekend off and enjoy Monday also, so I won't be filming before Tuesday. So I'm going to take Tuesday off, but I'll see you guys back again Thursday for our live show. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great weekend. Talk to you again real soon. Bye-bye.